Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMTrading. Today is June 18th, 2018, and today is Monday morning. So looking at the economic events of the day, just starting out with one event for our Monday at 7:30 this evening. Coming out of Europe, ECB President Draghi will be speaking. So that's going on the back of the ECB rate decision last week and also on the back of the FOMC rate decision. Not related to each other, but ultimately those were major events, and the fact that President Draghi will be speaking should add some weight to it. Now, a lot of correctional moves in the market, a lot of rotation versus the dollar, getting stronger across the board, and let's take a look. So we're first setting out with the EURUSD on a weekly chart, and as you can see, historically where we're exactly standing. Okay, 4 years ago we took a massive nosedive from 138 to 105 for many economic reasons. Okay, the Central Bank of Europe changed some of its deposits, so on and so forth, and we were really trading between 113 and 105 for almost 3 years. Okay, last year in May we kind of broke the upside at 112 and then continued going up until we capitulated at 125 just a few months ago, and then we tanked from 125 down to 115. Okay, so if you look at a weekly chart, you'll notice one thing, that number one, we've made a double bottom here, okay, or we're just making a double bottom here, and number two, previously at 114.73 we've had several resistance level, okay, that has pretty much solidified some sort of resistance. So although we're not there completely, okay, we're missing about 100 pips, but you could say that we're flirting with it, all right? And that's something to consider. If we do continue selling off here, just remember this support level or potential support level 114.73. And in technical trading, the longer the time frame and the more times it's challenged it, we say that it adds more significance. So especially because we've had several years of this resistance level at 114.73, its potential support level is that much stronger. So keep that in mind. But you have to let the trade happen. All right, I wouldn't be shorting here. I wouldn't chase this on the downside because we are, like I said, at the bottom of the range here. All right, so I do expect some sort of a bounce either later today or later this week, giving it a little bit of a trading range until it completely falls down. All right, however, if it does fall down, if it does continue to break down, it could go back dodown to the 112, 113-ish level. Okay, so just be aware of that as that continues to trade. Now, looking at the GBPUSD, almost the same thing. We've got a double bottom here at 132.29-ish level, as you can see here, and it's holding on. All right, so I'd look to see some sort of breakout from one of the major pairs versus the dollar, either GBP, Aussie USD, maybe the Swiss franc if it continues to rally, the dollar continues to rally against the Swiss franc. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. But you're looking for one of the pairs, okay, to either break down on the downside or to see that it's actually, found its soft landing here at 132. Okay, so keep in mind that that's going to happen later this week, either direction. All right, either it's going to show us that it's going to trade within a new range, or it's going to break down. But one of the currency pairs versus the dollar, the majors, is going to let us know that. All right, so it could, it could happen with the Aussie dollar, it could happen with the GBP. Okay, but we're going to have to look from some sort of cue in order for the rest of the markets to show us. All right, now looking at the Swiss franc here, we're back to our trend line. Remember the trend line we set up, okay, as we were breaking out higher. We made a double top at 1, okay, 1 even, as you can see here. We then sold off to 98. We broke our potential support trend line, and now we're just above it. All right, so I don't want to say that we've broken it on the upside and now we're going back up to 1 and maybe we'll break new highs. Okay, but this is definitely at the top of its range, and this could potentially just sell off here. All right, so I'd like to see this as well to give us some sort of indication where it's going to go versus the dollar. Now, if we jump to the Aussie USD and we're looking at a weekly chart, you could see that we're at the bottom of the chart here. Okay, again, at support level. All right, so we're at support level with the GBPUSD, with the EURUSD, and the Aussie dollar. Okay, and you could see that, the markets are really testing the dollar in terms of to see if it's going to really break out on the downside. Now, this is all going, on the back end of some of the geopolitical, economic, circumstances that we're having with Donald Trump being in as president, raising tariffs on countries that we haven't had tariffs for almost 30 years. Canada, we've had something called NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement between Canada and Mexico and the United States. There was no tariffs, for all their goods coming into the United States. Now he wants to add some, taxes onto their goods that is being imported. He wants to also add some taxes and tariffs on European goods that are being imported to the United States, and now he's even going after China. Okay, and that's what really rattled the market last Friday. We'll take a look at Dow Jones in just a moment. So this is all happening at the same time. All right, so I think the markets are still digesting the circumstances and the ripple effects of how this is going to play out. So you really want to be on top of this to make sure that you're in the game before it does happen. Now, jumping on a side note to the Turkish lira, Turkey is going to have elections on June 24th, which is less than a week away. And as you can see here, we're trading between this 474-ish level on the top side, and we're just sold off to 468-ish level. And this is something to really keep an eye on. All right, I do expect some volatility, some erratic movements. Okay, we've actually adjusted our leverage level to 50 instead of 200 to 1. All right, for your protection. So just be aware of it. There's going to be a lot of erratic moves here, and with that, there's a lot of potential to make money, especially on the short side. If you want to scalp this, great market to scalp. Now, jumping back into some of the normal things that we trade, we're looking at the oil. Okay, we're looking at light sweet crude oil, and it's sold off sharply from our 72-ish dollar per barrel rally that we had from 42-ish, from 47-ish level, and we're just now at 63.83. And as you can see, we broke our support level at 64.61, and that means that the next real level to go down to is $61 a barrel. Now, this is all coming in the box set of OPEC deciding to add more inventory to what's been happening in the markets already. So there's a lot of oil in the markets, and therefore the price is going down. Now, this is coming at a great time during the year, because this is really, the season where most of, the world is taking vacations, traveling, taking airfares, using, their cars, so on and so forth. So this is really affecting people at the petrol station. So very important factor as we consider, as we go into the summer months. Now, jumping into the Dow Jones, and we've spoke about this just previously with America and Donald Trump deciding to impose tariffs on China, and China, reciprocating that they're going to impose tariffs on the United States. Markets took a little bit of a sell-off last Friday. So remember, the markets don't like uncertainty, and I think that until the noise subsides, we have to look to see what's going to happen moving forward. Now, it's kind of ironic, because last week we had the meetings with North Korea and everything was okay, and the markets looked like they were going to rally and continue rallying, and everything was back to business. And sure enough, they put a damper on it at a resistance level. Ironically, okay, if we look at it right here, we had a double top right there, and then at 25,353 we had a potential resistance level, and we kept that, okay, as you can see right there, and then we sold off. So it's funny as these things are happening, all simultaneously. Now, this is really important point for the Dow Jones, because this really could be a very good support level, as it was previous resistance level several times. So with that said, I'd really look for some sort of direction here with the EURUSD, with the Dow Jones, in terms of if we're going to hold this level. Now, jumping into the DAX, again, we're pretty strong here. We're selling off this morning, but we're relatively pretty strong. Okay, we had a nice rally to 13,174-ish level, sold off last Friday, and continuing the sell-off this morning, as you can see. So I'd look for some sort of a support level closer to the moving average. Okay, maybe 12,870-ish level, 860-ish level, as we get closer to that, for a potential new trading range that we'll be trading between. Okay, so hasn't broken out, hasn't had that follow through on the upside, so it's a little bit disconcerting, but it's not selling off completely. Okay, it's not trending downwards. but I'd like to see a trend upwards for us to be going back into, you know, the direction. Now looking at Bitcoin right here, this was a Fibonacci we set up, okay, and as you can see, we broke the support level at 66.25, and it's now trading, excuse me, at 63.87. Had a little bit of a sell-off to 61.92, and we're still just at these levels, but we're not breaking down with some volume, with some volatility, with some momentum. Okay, so this is saying to me that it's not ready to go down yet. Okay, it might not go down, it might continue to trade within a range. So at these levels, you know, you want to just, you know, have very little feelers in it for it to give you that cue. It could just happen subtly and then sell off sharply afterwards. So keep an eye on this as well as this continues to trade. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.